It's 11:30 p.m. and flight EK762 from Johannesburg has got a problem. The captain has radioed ahead, reporting 2 abusive passengers on board. Mel Sapawal is rushing to meet the flight.
Okay, it's on ground. Yeah, okay, thanks, we're on our way. Flight's just landed, so we need to get there as quickly as we can. We've got the police with us as well, just in case, because we really don't know what to expect when we get there.
And she's brought backup. Airport Services Officer Jamal Saad.
The group security will be waiting for us, right?
Mel is responsible for ensuring that all passenger incidents are resolved quickly. But every case is different.
Just go on board and speak to the crew and find out exactly what's happened, if there's been any physical or verbal abuse, and to see the extent of if there is any damage on the aircraft. Here from National. How are you today? I'm good, good. Who was dealing with those passengers? Was it yourself?
I was dealing and this person as well.
Okay.
So, just 1 minute.
Sure.
Because they're sitting somewhere in the afternoon.
Okay.
Mel soon discovers the incident is bigger than initial reports suggested.
Can you explain to me what happened with these 3 gentlemen now? Because we initially thought it was only 2, but it's 3 now.
Yeah, 3. I think they had a lot of alcohol even before the flight, which we didn't know about it. So during the flight, they had a couple of drinks and they became aggressive, start abusing the crew. They keep shouting, abusing the customer around them.
Jamal and security go to collect the 3 unruly passengers. They could be in serious trouble. Under UAE law, endangering the safety of an aircraft through violent behavior is punishable by up to life imprisonment.
So there's no damage to the aircraft, and there was nothing that you guys feel need to be reported in terms of the police intervention at this stage?
Mel is satisfied that the passengers haven't broken the law, but they aren't in the clear yet. They have connecting flights to India, but if they don't sober up, they won't be allowed to continue their journey.
Right, Jamal, let's go.
And it's Mel who has the authority to decide their fate.
Okay, what happened on board? Explain to me what happened.
We don't make any mistake.
Okay. Are you all still feeling sick, or you're okay? Are you okay? You were vomiting. Yes, yes.
Vomiting
Okay.
there. Then vomiting there.
Okay.
That side of it.
And what about you two? Did you eat something on board? Yeah. Did you have some drinks as well?
We are take 2 sample bottle and 1 beer.
Really? Only 1 beer, huh?
Only 1 beer.
Okay.
And 2 sample bottle. Tony Walker, red 11.
Oh, sorry. What was that other one you said?
Thankfully for Mel, the passengers are good-natured.
We'll continue this discussion once we get back to the airport. Okay? And we'll talk about your next flight, okay? You need to sit down because we haven't stopped yet. Yeah, sit down. It's all very easy to get on an aircraft and have a couple of drinks. You're going on a holiday and it can get a little bit out of control. I'm pretty certain these people won't do it very often once they realise the severe situation that could arise from that.
Suddenly, Mel gets news of another inbound flight with problems on board.
And that's at Fox 16, yeah? Okay, so I'll take group security. I've got police with me anyway, just in case.
And this time, it sounds serious.
Back on, please.
Over in customs, Humaid Mohammed Al-Haj has just started another 8-hour shift.
I'm the duty officer. My team is good, and they are working.
Humaid and his 25-strong team must be constantly on the lookout for anything suspicious.
Hello? Salam rahmatullah.
4.5 hours into his shift, Humaid gets a call from one of his inspectors.
Allah يعافيك. عندك شيء يعني؟
During a spot check, the team have discovered a statue in a passenger's bag.
We have to check it because maybe they are bringing it from museum or somewhere like that. It's not allowed. ها شارنها من هناك ولا؟ اشتريتها من هناك؟
شريتها من هناك من اوتيل الفلفل.
من اوتيل الفلفل. شكله بعد قديم ها؟
As well as checking to see if the statue is a smuggled antiquity, it will be X-rayed to see if it's hollow. Artifacts like this are sometimes used to hide illegal substances. For Hamed and his team, the war on drugs is a daily battle. The UAE is increasingly being targeted by criminals as a trafficking point for drug mules carrying heroin. And in Dubai, drug smuggling is punishable by death.
They keep it inside the statue, inside anything. Maybe they are keeping in the mobile phone, maybe they are keeping in the laptop. We have to check it. They are very smart.
With such cunning techniques, the team can never be too careful, even with the most innocent-looking tourist souvenir.
That one is okay, there is no problem. اللي يشوفه يقول يمكن أثري صحيح جايبينه من الهرمات.
At another search desk, a passenger is being questioned by one of the inspectors. The man has told them he's staying in Dubai for a few weeks, but the inspector is suspicious as he's traveling on his own and doesn't have much luggage.
I have to check his body. Maybe he have something. Body scan rooms is there in the corner.
With the stakes so high, drug mules often swallow their illegal cargo in the hope of evading detection.
I look like a capsule. Some passengers bring 20 pieces, maybe 70 pieces. Somebody's bringing 100 pieces.
Dubai International has invested millions of dollars in cutting-edge body scanners to combat traffickers.
Now we are waiting to finish the scan. He will see his body from inside his stomach. Maybe he has something.
The suspect passenger will be detained while the customs team wait for the results of his body scan. If it shows he's carrying illegal drugs, it could mean the death penalty. Airport Services Manager Mel Sabharwal is on her way to meet yet another flight that has radioed ahead, with a problem passenger on board.
We've got another situation on another flight that I urgently need to get to. Okay, I'm on my way. Just give me a couple of minutes. This gentleman, we've got information from the crew to say that he's been drinking on board and he's potentially verbally abusive with the crew and is not adhering to any of the safety instructions in terms of seatbelts. It appears that he's jumping from seat to seat to seat to get away from the crew. 3 times the captain's called via our communication system, so he suggested that the passenger is very violent, so we've got to be a little bit cautious at this stage. You do have to keep your wits about you. It can be very, very intimidating because a situation can just kick off without any warning.
Mel decides to send airport security on board first to deal with any immediate danger while she gets the lowdown from the crew.
A passenger next to him was being insulted, was sworn at, he was mentioning his mother and his sister.
This lasted for about 5 hours, basically. But unfortunately, it escalated. Even during landing, he was standing up in the middle of the aisle, just seconds before touchdown, he was just standing there, you know?
It's been a distressing 5-hour flight from Kolkata for the crew and passengers, and particularly for the man sitting next to him.
He kept on pestering on the staff to bring more and more alcohol. All through the flight, I would say, for 3.5 hours, he was just abusing and swearing me, and there was a child across the aisle.
The troublesome passenger has moved to the cabin door.
We'll tell you the problem. Can you get your hand baggage first, yeah? And then we'll tell you what the problem is. The situation's not very good on board. The gentleman's not being cooperative at all. We've had to call extra security personnel and also the authorities to try and at least calm him down.
With this aircraft scheduled to return to Kolkata in just 90 minutes and the situation still potentially volatile, it's turning into a long night for Mel. In the customs hall, the passenger who arrived with suspiciously little luggage is being given a body scan. If the man is found to be a drug mule by Hamed Mohammed Al-Hajj's team of inspectors, he could face the death penalty.
I think maybe there is something. You see they put on the scan. You see there is something is not clear.
The body scan is inconclusive. But customs don't just rely on state-of-the-art scanning equipment worth millions of dollars. Sometimes simple mind games can work just as well.
If foot is not clear, we give the passenger some cup of water, because if he have something in his stomach, he will not drink the water. If he drink the water, something will happen for him.
Drug mules are told by traffickers not to eat or drink anything until they reach their final destination. If the passenger's stomach is full of drug capsules, any fluid intake might cause him to start passing his cargo too soon.
Now he's coming with the passenger. They want to give him a cup of water. And we know if he has something or he don't have anything in his stomach.
The man may have drunk the water, but the team still aren't satisfied. Luckily, the water has another benefit.
He will scan his body second time after the water, because I want to see the scan very clear, more than before.
Now, with water in his stomach, the scanned image will be more defined.
يوم بتخلص هذا لا تخليه يطلع بحزام الداخل.
The man's fate hangs in the balance. If he is smuggling drugs, he could pay the ultimate price for his crime.
يا شباب شو الوضع؟ انت سوي عمرك تطلع خلاص. اوكي دك. اوكي؟ ها؟ اللي ما يسخن. خلاص ما في شيء اوكي؟ No, we said it's okay. There is nothing in his body.
The passenger's ordeal is over, and he's free to leave.
يلا شكرا بك حياك الله. Gate number 1.
Out on the tarmac, Airport Services Manager Mel Sabawal is dealing with a sensitive situation on inbound flight EK573 from Kolkata. A man who has abused his fellow passengers during the flight is still causing trouble.
We could see as soon as the aircraft doors opened that it was a potentially threatening situation for everyone involved.
And his unpredictable behavior is preventing other passengers from leaving the plane, holding up the turnaround of the whole aircraft and threatening disruption for the airline.
We've now got him segregated in the business class cabin, and it looks like we may have to try and get him off the aircraft with some amount of persuasion.
Mel needs to resolve this highly charged situation fast.
Yes. You've got to be calm, because if you do become a little bit aggressive, then that can elevate the situation to something that's not very nice at all.
It takes Mel and her colleagues 30 minutes of patient negotiation to remove the passenger from the aircraft and hand him over to the police. If he's convicted of endangering the safety of the flight, he could face life imprisonment. Mel's night isn't over yet. She still has to decide the fate of the 2 remaining passengers who arrived from Johannesburg 3 hours ago. Their drinking buddy has already been declared fit for travel. If they haven't sobered up, they could pose a safety risk and will not be allowed to board their onward flight to India. Mel must make the call.
Did you have any more drinks? You sure? Nothing? No, you won't be allowed. The crew will not give you any more drinks. That's okay with you? Yeah? Just to let you know, the crew will not be serving you any drinks on board. Just sleep.
But you're okay now, right?
The 2 men happily board their dry flight home. After several hours in a police cell, the abusive passenger from Kolkata, a senior vice president of a financial corporation, escaped prosecution. But he was banned from his connecting Emirates flight. It's 7 a.m., rush hour. The overnight flights are landing. At gate B29, Nigel Fernandez is waiting to meet a 380-800, the biggest passenger jet in the world, arriving from London.
Just coming there. This one is a tight turnaround for Emirates.
Nigel is responsible for every detail of getting this plane ready for its next departure to Munich. From guaranteeing the plane is safe to depart to ensuring there are enough meals on board. He has just 2 hours and 5 minutes to do it all.
Right now the priority is to get our passengers on time off and the baggage off the aircraft as soon as possible.
Turning an A380 round involves 50 people, carrying out vital tasks with each procedure timed to the minute. The whole process takes a minimum of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Nigel has an additional 20 minutes of contingency should anything go wrong.
There's always a time set. I have 3 minutes to connect both the bridges, but that does not mean I will compromise on any safety. Hi there. Hello. Okay, all right. I was very lucky. We have a colleague who's putting in the other bridge, so we have met the deadline of 3 minutes.
First target hit.
Hi guys. How are you? Good morning. All good? Yeah?
Azita Nelson and her team of 20 cleaners are among over 50 people descending on this aircraft to turn it around. They have exactly 45 minutes to get this super jumbo jet spotless for its next passengers.
You know that this one is a quick turnaround, right? So everybody has to work hard. Harder.
We have 10 minutes for the passengers to get off. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to make sure that baggage, our priority passengers' baggage, goes on time as well. Good morning, Marcy. How are you? All okay? Good, good, good. Priority is in front, right? All right. Yeah. The aircraft is on stand almost now, 11 minutes. I can see the catering trucks coming in. I can also see the cleaners. We have the catering staff as well. And I can see passengers getting off pretty much at a rapid pace. So I'm very much on time right now.
Outside, things are going well.
Hi. Oh, you gotta be seriously.
But up in the cabin, things have ground to a halt. A passenger who needs special assistance is still waiting to leave the plane. Until all passengers disembark, the cleaners can't board. The clock is ticking.
Because it's a quick turnaround. We gotta do. Just one moment. Yeah, just one moment.
Dubai International has 2 4-kilometer runways. All day and all night, planes touch down here. Keeping the runway surface clean is vital to safety. Runway maintenance is the ultimate responsibility of Chris Garton.
This work is critically important, both to passengers and aircraft. If we didn't carry out the maintenance, it just wouldn't be safe for aircraft to land on.
The biggest challenge for the team is removing rubber deposits.
The work we're doing to remove rubber is absolutely critical to safety.
When a plane hits the tarmac at around 240 kilometers per hour, the intensity of this impact causes rubber from the plane's tires to be deposited on the runway. Leaving it there isn't an option.
If we weren't to remove the rubber, the surface becomes so slippery, it becomes like glass or like ice, and the aircraft can't brake on it.
To remove the menace, they use something special. A power hose costing nearly $1 million that blasts away the rubber using high-pressured water jets. And the machine is working well.
Okay, so that's pretty good. On this part of the surface, all of the rubber has been removed. But there's a bit of rubber here on the runway still, and you can see the rubber on my fingers. There'll be nobody sliding on that today, but this is still a little bit slippy here, but we'll take that off with the next run.
Without their specialist rubber removal machine, the team would seriously struggle with the huge volume of rubber deposited.
We'll typically remove 40 kilograms of rubber from each runway each week. That's 80 kilograms a week. That's 4 tons or so in a year. That's an awful lot of rubber.
With just one specialist machine, they're only just able to cope with this huge task.
The machine, I think, has been quite reliable, hasn't it?
Yes, the machine is doing good, sir.
But there's an extra pressure. Dubai International operates 24 hours a day. Maintenance can only take place when the runway is closed. And currently, the team are allocated just 4 hours a week to remove the rubber from each runway. And there's a lot more rubber on the way. Unparalleled growth will see the airport welcoming up to 90 million passengers a year by 2018. To cope with all the extra flights, Chris urgently needs to reduce the time the runways are closed by 25%.
We've got to find a way of getting more aircraft through these runways, which means they need to be open longer. If we could reduce the closure time to 3 hours, that would be a lot better.
Yes, sir, the reduction from 4 hours to 3 hours, it's becoming a really challenge for people like us.
Back at the tight turnaround flight, it's touch and go for ground dispatcher Nigel's on-time departure. One of the cargo crates is stuck in the hold and cannot be unloaded.
No, press this down.
It's holding up the entire operation.
Wait a minute.
At last, the engineer arrives.
Okay.
It's finally free.
Hopefully now this is the last one off, so we are okay to start loading.
Nigel is still just about on course for an on-time departure. He needs to start loading the outbound cargo now.
I'm missing 3 units of cargo. Once they are here, our loading can start.
But then a neighbouring plane starts pushing back, throwing Nigel's plans off course.
Our last 3 units are just down there. We are just waiting for this aircraft to push back. The aircraft takes the priority. I mean, there's nothing that can cross an aircraft. So we got to wait.
Each small delay piles pressure on Nigel to meet the critical pushback deadline.
You can see the units coming in now. All our cargo is here. Now it's all up to you. Now it's all up to you. I'll see you in a little while. Huh? You let me know if anything, yeah? Okay?
In just 32 minutes, Azita's team has collected 20 bags of rubbish from the plane. Over 500 seats, 15 toilets and 2 showers have been dusted, deodorized and disinfected with military efficiency.
It looks good. The pillows are over, the headrest covers are over, the blankets and headsets are on the seats. Yeah, the shower is done. Toilet is done.
1 hour, 5 minutes to pushback. The cabin crew arrive to begin their safety checks.
Guys, you gotta do fast, yeah? Crew are here already. We gotta finish, we gotta leave.
Thank you, yeah. I will just need to go up to the captain, have a word with him, a short briefing.
One of Nigel's key responsibilities is to keep the captain updated on the turnaround's progress.
We are good to go. Guys, very good job. You done it in 40 minutes, which is perfect.
Against the odds, Nigel's still on time. But he's used all 20 minutes grace for things to go wrong.
We're doing good. I'm going to get my boarding clearance in a minute.
To hit departure, everything from now on must run like clockwork.
We're actually waiting for her to give us a clearance. She'll be doing her checks, and then she should be able to give us a boarding clearance.
Before the passengers bound for Munich can start to board the aircraft, all safety equipment must be tested. And it's taking longer than usual. There's nothing Nigel can do but wait. Out on the runway, the maintenance team are still removing the dangerous rubber deposits. Their 4 hours are up. But before the runway can be reopened, it must be tested to check the surface is not slippery. A truck pulls a high-tech friction measuring device at a constant speed across the whole area of the runway. On board this trailer, a smooth-tired wheel measures the friction it encounters. These readings are recorded by an onboard processor. This is always a nerve-wracking time for the team.
Well, if the test results are not good enough, then we will have to come back and remove the rubber until the results are good enough. It means the runway will stay closed for longer. That has a big impact on our operations. Okay, how's it gone?
Doing good, good. Good, mate.
Let's have a look. We've got all green and one section of blue. This is good. These are good values, so no red. That's a good sign. Those results are great, so the runway's safe to open, so thank you very much indeed. Take care.
Job done for this week. It's just over 40 minutes to pushback, and ground dispatcher Nigel is still waiting patiently for the cabin crew to complete their safety checks.
They've taken more than 20 minutes to do their board check, but we've got to wait for her to give me a boarding clearance.
Until the cabin crew are satisfied, Nigel can't start boarding the plane. And there's a problem. One of the emergency oxygen cylinders is missing.
Okay, but the girl that you checked, she was missing one oxygen.
For now, Nigel has lost control of the schedule.
Okay, fine, thank you.
37 minutes to go.
Zone F1 to be...
Yes. We can start boarding.
All right, okay, thank you. Okay, Hadia, boarding clearance given, huh? 29.
And the transit passengers' luggage has arrived.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 went, 8, 9. That's what I had planned, 9. So all my baggage is here. I am really looking good. I am actually looking good. This is really a good flight. You see another one, 380 coming. All 380 coming. I love that aircraft. Look at that. That's huge. I love that. I love this one as well. Go ahead.
With just 18 minutes to go, Nigel's got word that the flight has 4 potential no-shows. Passengers who have checked in but failed to make it to the gate are one of the ground dispatcher's worst nightmares. Their already loaded bags present a security risk. No airline will take off with unaccompanied baggage on board. Nigel needs to identify the missing passenger's luggage fast.
Most of the bags are in this one, so I've asked him to keep it on standby.
Drawing on his years of experience as a ground dispatcher, Nigel decides to preempt the situation and put one cargo container aside.
All offloading in that one. 3 bags, huh?
But that means unloading the whole crate to find the bags.
I'm just keeping it on standby for the next 5 minutes. Minus 15 minutes. Dawood, any update on this passengers missing? Passenger reported, I'm accepting him just to save time.
12 minutes to go, and 3 of the 4 missing passengers have finally made it to the gate. Their bags go back on board.
That's my last container. This is done. I'm just waiting to close this one up. I've got 1 passenger missing who does not have any bags on the flight. So I'm ready to close. Minus 3 minutes, all doors should be closed. Dear, TOB should be 356, plus 1. Zero. He's already got a pushback. There we go. On time, on schedule. We made it. Any day, in the middle of the night, you tell me dispatch a flight, I would do it. I love doing this.